we are going to be reacting to How Far Have We Come and Where Are We Going in WoW Classic SOD by my boy Hammerdance, amazing content creator. There'll be a description for him down below. But this is essentially just about the vibes and feelings from pre-Phase 1 to where we are right now with Naxxramas and SOD, this late into Season of Discovery's lifespan. It's been just about 13, 14-ish months since of SOD, and the vibes have been up, down, all over the place. So let's just dive right into this and see what Hammer's got to say. Or, you know.
It all started with a little spark. A whisper from Blizzard that sent shockwaves through the World of Warcraft community. Season of Discovery. A brand new way to experience Classic. Reimagined with fresh content, bold changes, and the promise of adventure. The hype was pretty much unreal.
The hype was, like, I know Hammer said the hype was unreal, but people don't remember how big the hype was. This was essentially almost like 2019 Classics launch. This was like them announcing Classic Plus. This was so beyond massive. Every single person, content creators that had quit, content creators that hadn't even started WoW, every single person and their mother came to play WoW in Season of Discovery's launch. It was ginormous. It was almost a cultural event. And then Phase 1 to Phase 2 and onwards was like, you know, that's where the problems start to kick in. But like that launch experience is like unrivaled. It was like playing 2019 launch. It was immaculate.
Content creators, theory crafters, and casual players alike flocked to Classic servers in numbers we hadn't seen in years. But how did all that unfold? What were the highs, the lows, and the moments that made Season of Discovery so unforgettable? Let's take a journey through every phase and pay tribute to one of the most innovative Classic experiences we've had to date. When Phase 1...
I'm going to be interrupting Hammer a lot here. When they... I'm going to replay this.
Innovative Classic experiences we've had to date.
Innovative Classic experience we've had to date. People may dislike SOD, and this is one of the most common consensuses, like the runes were bad, or this thing they added made me dislike the game, too much damage, because, you know, we have ICC levels of damage right now. But all of that was flavor Classic needed. There's still a huge portion of the player base that definitely wants what Anniversary servers have. But look at the player difference between SOD's launch and Anniversary's launch. SOD had almost 600,000 players. Anniversary, after almost 2 months, or 3 months, I think, has just hit about 88,000 players. Because the people that love Classic and truly love like Anniversary and vanilla experience, they're always going to be there. They're never going anywhere. That player base is always going to stay no matter what. It's going to be tourists coming and going, playing a bit and then leaving. But for something like 2019 to happen again, SOD needed to happen. It didn't land right. There were too many problems with it. But that's the reason why SOD was so massive on launch. And unless they do some like cultural new phenomenon bullshit, for example, Classic Plus or WoW 2 or whatever you want to call it, I don't think we're going to get those numbers ever again.
When Phase 1 launched, players were met with something both familiar and a little bit new. Level 25 was our cap, forcing us to rethink everything that we knew about the game. Suddenly, Blackfathom Deeps wasn't just another dungeon, it was a raid. The open world PvP event in Ashenvale created absolute chaos as entire factions clashed for dominance. And who could forget the great Warlock Metamorphosis hunt? An entire class working together in real time, scouring Azeroth for a hidden rune created one of the most exciting community-driven discoveries in WoW's history. This was the moment where content creators started exploding.
I will definitely say the level bans are pretty amazing. The amount of like people that actually had to like relearn the game and do everything. But what sucks the most, and this is kind of like a nostalgia, calm, like how it was video, so I know why Hammer didn't mention it, but on God, the player base sucks ass. Do you guys remember how min-maxed Phase 1 was? The player base min-maxed level 25. They maximized how to level efficiently, where to grind. They were selling boosts to get you to 25 faster. People were selling Wailing Caverns boosts where you were inside sitting there as they cleared the thing and then they were selling you your blue Priebus and shit of that nature. The player base is what ruined Classic because we sweatified something that should by no means been sweaty. Like, for example, 2019 Classics launch versus 2024's anniversary launch. Two completely different launch experiences. 2019, everybody was fucking about, having fun, doing nothing. There was no GDKP nonsense. People didn't know the meta. I remember there being Ret Paladins and Boomkins and raids. People were just having fun and chilling. 2024's launch, you're a Boomkin, you're not coming. You're a Ret Paladin, you're not coming. Why are you even here? You're terrible, dog shit, don't play. The player base is min-maxed Classic World of Warcraft to a measure of essential disgustingness.
New names like Kagho, Ebonheart, Sam Medina, Hello J Tello.
Ebonheart mentioned. I'm amazing. But everyone he mentioned, absolute fucking Giga Chat. I love each and every single person.
And even myself took center stage.
Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kagho.
I'm gonna move my face right here just for this section. I'll move it right back.
Self took center stage.
Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kagho coming at you with another video.
Mainly because you realize that you don't want all your gear. Couldn't have used my face. There's like a dozen videos with my face in it. He had to go. He went all the way back to when I started with the avatar. This used to be me. To be invalidated.
I have a little fun and we are gonna go over the specs most likely to be busted after taking a look at all the phase 3 runes.
My boy Tello is fucking
Hello.
hilarious.
Arrivederci. Or, como estas? How's everyone doing? Much love to ya. Hope everyone's having a good day. Your boy Tello was extremely hungover yesterday, so that's why I didn't stream, so don't shoot me in Minecraft or I said what I said. YouTube family-friendly editor, make sure they know about that one right there. Much love to him as well.
And then came phase 2. Our level cap was raised to 40, and with it, the discovery.
I'm gonna move my face back here. Because my screen otherwise it looks wonky.
Of even crazier rune builds. The Gnomeregan raid was an absolute blast, offering some of the most unique mechanics we've seen in Classic. And then there was Stranglethorn, a zone that became a bloodbath overnight. Now, Stranglethorn was always a bloodbath, but the Blood Moon event turned this jungle into an all-out war zone, a place where stepping outside Booty Bay meant accepting your inevitable fate. It was thrilling, terrifying, and completely unforgettable.
This was
At level
unplayable
50,
for
things got
melee.
even crazier.
Ooh.
Sunken Temple, normally one of the least loved dungeons in WoW, became a full-on raid with incredible encounters. This was also the phase where class identity was completely rewritten. With even more rune discoveries, hybrid builds flourished. Suddenly, paladins and druids were real threats. Warlocks became self-healing tanks, and mages had even more devastating burst damage. The meta was shifting constantly, keeping players on their toes. If you were top DPS this week, there was a good chance next week you wouldn't be. Phase 3 was a tricky phase for Season of Discovery, with myself and many others believing that this was the phase that kind of changed the direction of.
Phase 3 was like the nail in a coffin of a progressively less and less fun experience. Sunken Temple, the incursions, and like just the min-maxing of the player base essentially killed Sod's hype and vibe. The devs have a little blame to take here by putting incursions into the game. Sunken Temple's loot fixes coming like 8 weeks too late. It was like 7-8 weeks into Sunken Temple where they actually fixed the loot and made Sunken Temple worth doing. Because phase 1 to phase 2, the loot upgrade was huge. Phase 2 to phase 3, it was beyond minuscule. There was maybe 3 or 4 items that everybody was really gunning for. And then halfway through the phase, they upped and fixed a lot of the items for Sunken Temple. But by that point, almost nobody came back. Sada dropped from I think like 130,000 players down to like 35k. Almost nobody came back for the loot fix. And there were so many problems in phase 3 that essentially destroyed the identity of Season of Discovery. But he's 100% correct in the sense that for the very first time in Classic's existence, variety, meta, everything had shifted and changed, and it kept shifting week to week to week. Now it's kind of stale again, but it always does that. It kind of like Classic as a whole, no matter what you do, people eventually min-max and figure out the best way to play. And that just fucks the game of everybody, because at that point it just becomes a matter of pick this, play this, this is the best video, this is the best thing, this is the best guide, the best way, the best meta, the best gear, the best. It's a shitty way to play, and it genuinely takes away from the game and experience. I'm actually going to do a little bit less talking, because we're 3 minutes into this, and this is already like a 12-minute fucking reaction, so let's...
The game. The phase lasted a little bit too long and ended up burning a lot of players out. More than half of the player base most likely stopped playing back in Phase 3. Raiding Sunken Temple for over 10 weeks straight just got boring. It was also the first 20-player raid that was introduced in Season of Discovery. In the previous phases, Gnomeregan and Blackfathom Deeps were 10-player raid encounters, so it made it really easy for guilds to have multiple raid groups going at once, or even just smaller guilds with not that many people.
So I said I was going to stop interrupting, but no, the 10 to 20 man shift was actually, I completely forgot about that, but now that he brought it up, it was one of the stupidest things they could have done. It broke a lot of guilds, it broke a lot of communities, and it straight up ruined the game. Going from 10 man to 20 man for MC made sense. Nobody would have been upset. But going from 10 man to 20 man at level 50 ruined communities. People weren't prepared, people weren't ready. They should have announced that MC was going to be 20 man at the beginning of Phase 3 and let everybody stay as a 10 man group. Making this shit 20 man was one of the contributing factors to Phase 3's absolute decline.
We're able to just clear this content. Between the jump to 20-player raid encounters and the extremely long Phase 3, this is when so many people stopped playing, or even just got a bad taste in their mouth for Season of Discovery. The numbers had dwindled to a fraction of what they once were in the beginning of the season. But then came Phase 4. Phase 4 brought us all to the big leagues. We were finally level 60, and the long-awaited return of Molten Core. But this time, it felt a little bit more fresh. We had different heat levels so that sweatier players could add more of a challenge for an increased chance at loot dropping.
I stand by it.
Meant that old
Heat levels were
had no
terrible.
Challenges, and the Blackrock Eruption PvP event turned the heart of Azeroth into a battlefield. The hype was still pretty high, but the cracks had started to show in Phase 3. So some players began to wonder, was this sustainable and would the hype last? Phase 5 came and, in my opinion, delivered in a pretty big way. Blackwing Lair had some of the most iconic fights in Classic, and Zul'Gurub offered a smaller yet equally thrilling challenge. The grind was real, but the rewards were worth it. However, for some players, burnout started setting in.
I'm actually going to disagree with Hammer here. I don't think Phase 5 actually was good enough to warrant Season of Discovery's situation. Phase 4 was nice, it was interactive, but the heat levels, on top of taking too long to fix issues in Phase 3, and then Phase 5 didn't deliver any new content. We didn't get a new dungeon. We did get they made 3 unique instances where you got your class items from Blackwing Lair, and those are really incredible. Like the Paladin quest item, I told this to Agron, it was one of the best written pieces of gear, questing, ever done. That Paladin quest line was beyond phenomenal. But locking one of the best quest chains ever behind a class item only for Paladins, or a very small percentage of the player base, was genuinely a terrible, terrible decision, and it actively ate away at the amount of effort they put into Phase 5. They should have put that effort into 3 new dungeons, multiple new quest lines for the entire player base. But what they did was good, but it was misplaced and mistimed for how they should have done that. So Phase 5 being good is not a lie, it's the truth. It was good in a way that the player base did not ask for or want.
The race to keep up with every new rune, every build, was just getting exhausting. The community was still strong, but we were beginning to lose some adventurers along the way. Then came Phase 6, Encourage. It was alright.
I quit for this. I didn't even play this, not gonna lie.
This is when I decided to step away and take a break for a phase. It was challenging, rewarding, and an absolute test of skill, but it was also a reality check. This was when the game started to truly feel like Classic again, with its long raid nights, endless attunements, and faction-based struggles. Some loved it, and others tapped out,
Hated
myself
it.
included. Like I said, this was the phase that I stepped away. And now, here we are in Phase 7. The
Amazing phase so
legendary
far.
final raid, Naxxramas. Although in Season of Discovery, it's not the final raid. We still have the Scarlet Crusade raid to look forward to, and I'm sure we're all excited about that. But what makes this phase so special isn't the challenge. It's how accessible the game has become. Catch-up mechanics are better now than ever. Meaning both
100%.
casual players and the sweatiest tryhards have something to enjoy. If you've fallen off, now honestly, in my opinion, is the perfect time to return if you have any interest. Whether you're chasing the best loot, reliving WoW history, or just looking to experience the magic one last time, Season of Discovery is still very much alive despite what you see on the internet. There's tons of people running all of the raids, from
100%.
Sunken Temple all the way through to Naxxramas. If you want to hop on and jump into a Molten Core in full greens, well, now's your time to do it. You can get full Tier 1 in pretty much one night. And then from there, make your journey into Blackwing Lair, maybe Zul'Gurub. And then within 2 weeks, you'll be in Naxxramas. We've also received the Karazhan Crypts 5-man dungeon. This
Karazhan Crypts is by far the singular best piece of content the classic devs have done. It was amazing. It's high quality. It's very clean. It's very, very well done. But overtuned the shit. The classic player base is dog shit. And there's too many people that are just not good at the game that make an experience like the Karazhan Crypts shitty the longer it's been since launch. At launch, all the sweaty, competent people are doing it. Now, shit's overtuned, people aren't that good, and it's a frustrating, like, difficult experience for the average player. It's not to say it's a bad experience, but it wasn't designed with the classic player base's skill in mind. Because, I mean, like, let's be honest here. It is what it is. But everything else he said is correct. Phase 7 is genuinely a really good experience. It's high quality, very fun, really, really good experience. But it's still not enough to bring a huge portion of the player base back. That's the problem I have with SOD is, SOD is amazing. Hammer's correct. There's plenty of people around, plenty of content to do. There's so much to do and enjoy. But at the end of the day, it's not bringing the player base back because everybody had their hype and eyes set on like something like Classic Plus or a future experience. And the devs have been tight-lipped about the future of Classic, the future of SOD, and the player base is burning out because they don't know what to expect, what to prepare for. In retail, you have The War Within, Midnight, The Last Titan. And Chris Metzen's already said they're working on 14 and 15.1 already. Like right now, this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, he literally said that 15.1 is being developed, like planned on as we speak. The next 7, 8 years of retail WoW is being designed and planned and prepped. This huge continuity. With SOD and Classic, are we getting TBC after anniversary? Are we getting SOD TBC? Are we getting Classic Plus? Is it going to be phase 12, 13, 14, 15? Like what's coming? We need some information. And until we get that, the hype, I don't think, even if they announce the Scarlet Enclave, no matter how good it is, I think it's going to bring back a huge portion of the player base. I think no matter what they do, SOD is a little cooked until they figure out how to give us a proper timeline and roadmap to look forward to.
This place is awesome. In my opinion, it's a little bit overtuned for Classic WoW, but I guess if you treat it as a heroic, it works. The design is cool, the bosses are cool, and the loot is incredible. So if you haven't tried that, that's another reason to come back. My point is, Season of Discovery wasn't just a game mode. It really was a movement in the Classic WoW community. It proved that Classic WoW could still surprise us, still bring us together, and still create unforgettable memories. We laughed, we raged, we theory crafted, we explored, and through it all, we rediscovered what made this game so special.
Theory crafting. I did so much theory crafting, on God. I spent more time theory crafting than I did playing this fucking game.
So if you're watching this and thinking about coming back, or maybe you haven't even started yet, just do it. The adventure isn't over yet, and you could really jump into this at any time. With the XP boost, runes at level 1, and all of this new content to explore, I really suggest jumping in if you're on the fence. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next time I post a video. And if you want to hang out with me live, jump over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/hammerdance. I'm really enjoying Phase 7, and I'm glad I took Phase 6 off because it kind of rekindled that fire under my ass and made me want to jump back into WoW. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.
So I'm just gonna let this play out so he gets the full ad revenue. Amazing video by Hammerdance. If you liked the video, I will link it in the description for the video below. I'm also gonna post it in chat as well for everybody to go and subscribe if you haven't already, but I assume this is a classic WoW channel. You've all subscribed to him already. Genuinely amazing content creator. Hammer is fucking cooking. All of his videos are higher quality and really good like this, so do check him out. But I agree with him. SOD is an amazing experience. Genuinely top tier, genuinely clean, genuinely a fun experience. But that doesn't really help because at the end of the day, we need a roadmap. We need a future design, a future plan of what's coming and where to go. So until we get that, no matter how good they make SOD, it's genuinely not going to grow and blow up unless they give us the roadmap we need. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this reaction, like and subscribe. If you hate this reaction, understandable. Dislike and subscribe so you can dislike all my other fucking videos too. Thank you all. Ebonhard out. Peace.